Junior Surveyor Nix 427 rubbed her crystalline sensory nodes, certain she must be experiencing a malfunction. The holographic display before her showed an impossible reading, or rather, a lack of reading. Where the Sol system should have been, there was nothing but empty space. Not the normal empty of space, with its scattered hydrogen atoms and quantum fluctuations, but a perfect void. Computer, rerun diagnostic on Sector 3447, focusing on coordinates AGC Sol. She commanded, her crystalline form shifting colors from its normal calm blue to an anxious green. This was her first solo shift managing the millennial galactic census, and she couldn't afford mistakes. The computer chimed pleasantly. Diagnostic complete. No errors detected. Sol system absent from specified coordinates. Nix 427 felt her crystalline matrix vibrate with tension. The Sol system wasn't just any random star cluster. It was home to humanity, one of the most peculiar and promising species in the galaxy. They had gone from primitive rocket technology to near light-speed travel in less than a century, breaking every developmental curve the Council had established. Following protocol, she sent an alert to her supervisor. Within moments, Senior Surveyor Kelp 9 materialized in her office, his gelatinous form rippling with skepticism. Another anomaly, Junior Surveyor. Kelp 9's voice bubbled with barely concealed condescension. Let me guess. You found another impossible reading. Nix 427 stood her ground. Sir, the Sol system is gone. Not destroyed, not hidden behind a cosmic phenomenon. Gone. There's no debris, no radiation signature, nothing. It's as if someone removed it from space itself. Impossible. Kelp 9 scoffed, sliding toward her console. Stars don't simply disappear, much less entire solar systems. Clearly your instruments need calibration. His words cut off as he examined the readings. His gelatinous form went completely still, all internal movement ceasing, a sign of extreme shock in his species. Within hours, the Galactic Council chamber was in an uproar. Representatives from 1,000 species argued about the implications. Some suggested it was an attack, others a natural phenomenon never before documented. A few radical voices even proposed that humanity had destroyed themselves through some failed experiment. The chaos continued until Councilor Zixterra glided into the chamber. Ancient even by the standards of their immortal species, Zixterra had discovered 3 of the 5 known ascended civilizations. Their gossamer form shimmered with accumulated wisdom as they accessed the sensor data. The chamber fell silent as Zixterra spoke 4 words that would echo across the galaxy. The humans were right. The Council erupted with questions, but Zixterra raised a glowing appendage for silence. 3 standard years ago, a human delegation requested a private audience with me. They presented evidence of something they called cosmic unraveling, a theoretical crisis that threatened not just our galaxy, but the very fabric of space-time. We dismissed their concerns as the paranoid fantasies of a young species. Their form dimmed with regret. Now it seems they have taken matters into their own hands. In her observation post, Nix 427 watched the Council broadcast with growing amazement. She had expected to be reprimanded for reporting a malfunction. Instead, she had apparently stumbled upon what would become the greatest mystery of the millennium. As she began documenting everything for the official record, her sensors detected something strange. A faint pattern in the quantum foam where Earth had been, like the echo of a laugh in an empty room bliss, then /and thinking greater than. The Grand Archives of the Galactic Council had never seen such activity in its 100,000-year history. Researchers from across the galaxy crowded its crystalline halls, their various forms hunched over terminals or interfacing directly with the quantum databases. They all sought the same thing: any clue about humanity's final warnings. Dr. Larissa Telvar, a temporal physicist whose species had evolved from what humans would have called quantum particles, hovered over her workstation, her form rippling with excitement. Look at this, she called to her research partner. her voice carrying the harmonics of discovery. These humans had a form of entertainment called science fiction. In the last 5 years before their disappearance, every major story they produced contained the same mathematical sequence hidden in the background details. Her partner, a massive fungal collective called Research Cluster 9, extended a sensory filament to examine the data. Fascinating. The sequence appears in their music as well, encoded in wave frequencies. And here, in the background radiation of their quantum communication networks. It's more than that. Larissa's form pulsed brighter. I've been analyzing a research paper published by their Quantum Physics Institute 3 months before the disappearance. It perfectly predicted 12 cosmic-scale disasters. 11 have already occurred exactly as they described. The fungal collective rippled with concern. And the 12th? Due next week, Larissa whispered, her quantum form condensing with worry. A gamma-ray burst from a dying star in the Carina sector. The news spread through the archives like a shockwave. Counselor Zixtera, who had taken personal interest in the investigation, arrived within hours, their gossamer form drifting through the holographic displays of human scientific journals. There's more, Research Cluster 9 announced, extending multiple filaments to manipulate the displays. The humans approached the council 3 years ago with a theory about reality itself beginning to unravel. They called it entropy cascade acceleration. Their model suggested that the fundamental forces holding space-time together were degrading faster than previously thought possible. Zixtera's form brightened with sudden understanding. Show me their proposal to the council. The display shifted to show a formal document, stamped with both human and council signatures. As they read, Zixtera's glow dimmed dramatically. We dismissed them, they said, their voice heavy with regret. They came to us with proof that the universe was literally coming apart at the seams, and we treated them like frightened children. Larissa interfaced with another database, her quantum form splitting briefly to process multiple data streams. According to these records, humanity continued their research after the Council's rejection. Their final public broadcasts contained what seemed like routine scientific discussions, but look at this. She highlighted a series of seemingly innocent research papers. When analyzed together, these papers form a complete blueprint for something. The mathematics are unlike anything in our databases, but they seem to describe a method for removing an object, or even an entire star system, from normal spacetime without causing a catastrophic vacuum collapse. The archives fell silent as the implications sank in. Humanity hadn't just discovered a problem. They had spent years carefully, quietly developing a solution. And when the Council refused to listen, they implemented that solution alone. As if to punctuate their discovery, an urgent alert flashed across all screens. The predicted gamma-ray burst in the Carina sector had just occurred, 6 days ahead of schedule. The cascade was accelerating less than /ant thinking. Greater than. Dr. Maya Chen X447 stood before the Galactic Council's emergency session, her hybrid form uniquely suited to her groundbreaking discovery. The daughter of a human mathematician and a crystalline logic entity, her mind could perceive patterns in ways neither of her parent species could fully grasp. Distinguished council members, she began, her voice carrying both human warmth and crystalline clarity. What I'm about to show you will challenge everything we understand about universal constants. Her partially crystalline form caught the light as she gestured, bringing up a complex holographic display. When Earth disappeared, we assumed they had found a way to move through space-time. We were wrong. She paused, her human eyes scanning the chamber. They didn't move through space-time. They removed themselves from its equation entirely. The chamber erupted in murmurs of disbelief. Counselor Zixtera drifted forward, their gossamer form brightening with interest. Explain, Dr. Chen X447. Maya's crystalline components pulsed with excitement as she manipulated the hologram. Look at the entropy readings from the Sol sector before and after the disappearance. Everyone focused on what was missing. The physical matter. the radiation signatures, the gravitational effects. But nobody noticed what else disappeared. The hologram shifted to show a complex mathematical formula. This is the fundamental equation governing entropy in their sector of space. And this. She brought up a second formula, slightly but significantly different, is the equation now. They didn't just take their solar system, they took an entire universal constant with them. Research Cluster 9, who had joined the session, extended analytical filaments toward the display. Impossible. Universal constants cannot simply be removed from spacetime. The fabric of reality would collapse. Maya completed the thought. That's what our current physics says should happen. But look at the surrounding space. She zoomed the display out to show the neighboring sectors. It's perfectly stable. More than stable. The entropy rates in adjacent sectors have actually decreased by 0.34%. Larissa Telvar, the temporal physicist who had discovered the predicted disasters, manifested next to the display. You're suggesting they found a way to edit the fundamental laws of physics. Not edit, Maya corrected, her human smile contrasting with her pulsing crystalline components. They found a way to optimize them. My human parent used to say that the universe is just a vast equation seeking balance. Humanity didn't break that equation. They rewrote it to solve for a different variable. The council chamber fell silent as the implications sank in. It was Counselor Zixtera who finally spoke. And what variable would that be? Dr. Chen X447. Maya's entire form brightened. Survival. Not just their own, but everyone's. The entropy cascade isn't just accelerating. It's evolving, learning, adapting to overcome standard physical laws. Humanity didn't run from this threat. They transformed themselves into a new fundamental constant to fight it. She brought up one final display. A quantum scan of the seemingly empty Sol sector. At first, it showed nothing. Then, adjusting for quantum resonance patterns similar to human brainwaves, a vast, intricate network appeared, spanning the entire region. They're still there, Maya whispered, her voice filled with pride in her human heritage. Not as matter or energy as we understand it, but as living mathematics, conscious equations keeping our reality stable. My human parent didn't abandon me. She, along with every other human, became part of the solution to the universe's most fundamental problem. As if in response to her words, the quantum network pulsed once, like a vast, cosmic heartbeatless, then ant thinking, greater than. Investigative reporter Zylara Nems, no relation to Counselor Zixtara, as she constantly had to explain, hovered her anti-gravity pod near the dying star of Proxima Centauri b. According to all scientific predictions, this star should have gone supernova 3 days ago. Instead, it had stabilized in a way that defied every known law of astrophysics. Recording Day 17 of the Stellar Anomaly Investigation, she spoke into her quantum recorder. This marks the 43rd documented case of impossible stellar stabilization in the past month. Her tentacles moved swiftly across the sensor controls, capturing every reading she could. A notification chimed on her communication panel. Her contact at the Galactic Science Academy had sent new data. A primitive civilization in the Orion Spur had somehow survived an extinction-level asteroid impact. The asteroid had mysteriously disintegrated before impact, scattering into harmless debris that created nothing more than a spectacular meteor shower. Xylara's journalism neural implants tingled. This was the 7th miraculous salvation of a developing species this quarter. She added it to her growing database of impossible events, and a pattern began to emerge. Computer, overlay quantum signature analysis from all documented anomalies, she commanded. The holographic display filled with swirling data streams. Cross-reference with all known species energy patterns. The computer worked for several minutes before chiming. Match found. Quantum signatures align with recorded human brainwave patterns, circa 2024 to 2025 Earth Standard Time. Xylara's tentacles curled with excitement. Record new investigation note. Humanity didn't just disappear. They've somehow woven themselves into the fabric of reality itself. These aren't random anomalies. They're deliberate interventions. Her pod sensors suddenly screamed with alerts. A massive solar flare was building in the dying star, one that would destroy her ship before she could escape. Xylara reached for the emergency teleport beacon, knowing it wouldn't activate fast enough. The flare erupted, but instead of destruction, she witnessed something extraordinary. The plasma formed into a complex, geometric pattern for a fraction of a second before dissipating harmlessly into space. Her sensors registered a familiar quantum signature in the event. "They're protecting us," she whispered, adding to her notes with trembling tentacles. "Not just primitive species or important systems. They're watching over everyone." Back at the Galactic News Network headquarters, Xylara presented her findings to her editor. A collective consciousness of gas-based beings called Editorial Mind 7. "Look at the pattern," she insisted, displaying her evidence. "Every major crisis that should have caused catastrophic damage has been mysteriously averted. And every single incident bears the same quantum signature, human brainwave patterns." The editorial mind pulsed with multiple colors, indicating deep consideration. "You're suggesting that humanity has become some kind of cosmic guardian force." "They've transcended their physical form," Xylara explained, her tentacles dancing with enthusiasm. "They've become living quantum safeguards, protecting the galaxy from everything from cosmic disasters to local threats. These aren't just random beneficial coincidences. They're conscious choices made by a species that chose to become something greater than themselves." Her evidence was irrefutable. Within hours, her report was broadcasting across the galaxy. "Humanity's disappearance explained. They became our guardians." As the news spread, more reports flooded in from across the galaxy, tales of mysterious saves, impossible recoveries, and disasters averted. Each bore the same distinctive quantum signature, like a parent's fingerprints on a child's rescued toy list, then /and thinking greater than. The space station materialized in high orbit above the Galactic Council headquarters without warning or fanfare. Its architecture was unmistakably human in origin, yet it seemed to shimmer between dimensions, as if it wasn't quite fully present in normal spacetime. First Contact Specialist Kira Vex, a being of pure energy contained within a crystalline matrix, led the initial exploration team. As they approached in their shuttle, the station's external surfaces rippled like sunlight on water. Preliminary scans indicate the structure is composed of both physical matter and conscious energy, her science officer reported, his gaseous form swirling with confusion inside his containment suit. "It's as if thoughts themselves have been crystallized into tangible form." The station's docking bay opened for them without any communication necessary. As they stepped onto the deck, lights activated in sequences that seemed to beckon them forward. The walls themselves appeared to be made of flowing data, countless streams of information cascading like digital waterfalls. "It's a library," Kira Vex realized, her energy form brightening with understanding. "They left us their knowledge." The central chamber was a vast spherical space, with a holographic representation of the galaxy floating at its heart. As the exploration team entered, the hologram zoomed in on a particular section of space, the former location of Earth. A voice echoed through the chamber, not in any single language, but in pure concepts that each being understood perfectly. "We hope you would come." The hologram shifted, showing the evolution of human consciousness into its new form. The images were beautiful and terrifying in their complexity, an entire species choosing to transform itself into living quantum equations. "Your hypothesis was correct, Dr. Chen X447, the voice continued, and Kira Vex realized the hybrid mathematician had silently joined them, her crystalline components resonating with the station's energy. "Consciousness itself is the key to preventing the heat death of the universe." The hologram displayed a visualization of entropy's effect on spacetime, showing how conscious observation and interaction actually strengthen the fabric of reality. Humanity had discovered that awareness itself was a fundamental force, as essential to the universe as gravity or electromagnetism. We didn't flee from the coming disaster, the voice explained as new images formed. We became the solution. By transforming our consciousness into a quantum-scale awareness, we can reinforce the very foundations of space-time. But we need your help. Maya Chen X447 stepped forward, her human eyes wide with revelation. "You didn't just leave us your technical knowledge," she said. "You left us instructions to join you." "Yes," the voice confirmed. "The entropy cascade can only be defeated by a network of conscious beings operating at the quantum level. We are the first, but we must not be the last." Kira Vex watched in awe as the station downloaded its database into their ship's computers. It contained everything: the mathematics of consciousness, the physics of thought, the quantum mechanics of awareness. Humanity had created not just a library, but a roadmap for other species to follow. "We didn't abandon the galaxy," the voice said softly. "We became its scaffolding, holding reality together until others can join us in our watch. This station is more than a library. It's an invitation." As if to demonstrate, the walls around them briefly became transparent, revealing the quantum network of human consciousness stretching across space, a vast, glittering web of aware energy protecting every star, every planet, every living thing in its embrace. The Galactic Council would later name it the Library of Light, the place where humanity had left instructions for transcendence, not for their own glory, but for the survival of all less than /and thinking greater than. The wave of accelerated entropy appeared exactly where humanity's calculations had predicted, a shimmering curtain of unreality that turned ancient stars to cold cinders in its wake. The Galactic Council's observation fleet watched in horror as the phenomenon defied every attempt at measurement or classification. Multiple star systems in the Carina sector experiencing total atomic decay, reported Fleet Commander Tex 117, her crystalline form vibrating with stress. "The wave is consuming everything in its path, breaking down matter at the quantum level." But then something extraordinary happened. As the entropy wave approached the inhabited worlds of the Proxima system, it encountered resistance. The void itself seemed to thicken, like air crystallizing into diamond. Dr. Maya Chen X447, now heading the Council's Transcendence Research Division, monitored the readings from her laboratory in the Library of Light. "Look at the quantum signature pattern," she called out to her team. "They're forming a barrier, a living wall of conscious energy." The entropy wave struck the invisible shield, and for a moment, reality itself seemed to hold its breath. Through their instruments, the observers could detect complex mathematical equations writing and rewriting themselves in the fabric of space-time, each formula bearing the distinctive pattern of human consciousness. "They're not just blocking it," Maya realized, her hybrid form resonating with the quantum frequencies. "They're teaching space-time how to resist decay. Each equation is like an immune response, showing reality how to strengthen itself." Across the galaxy, similar barriers appeared wherever the entropy wave threatened inhabited systems. The human consciousness network, spread across dimensional planes, responded like antibodies fighting an infection in the body of the universe itself. On the Council's emergency broadcast channel, Councilor Zixtera provided live commentary, their gossamer form pulsing with barely contained awe. "We are witnessing something unprecedented in galactic history. Humanity has become a living shield, their consciousness transformed into a quantum immune system for reality itself." In the Library of Light, Maya and her team worked frantically to understand the process they were witnessing. The station's walls had become transparent, revealing the streams of conscious energy flowing through space like rivers of living light. "Each human consciousness is acting as a quantum processor," she explained to the gathered researchers. "They're not just preventing entropy. They're rewriting the fundamental laws of physics in localized areas to make space-time more resistant to decay." Through their instruments, They could see how the human network adapted to each new variation of the entropy wave. When the phenomenon attempted to accelerate atomic decay, human consciousness responded by strengthening quantum bonds. When it tried to unravel gravitational fields, the network reinforced them with new forms of energy previously unknown to science. "This is why they needed to transform," Maya whispered, watching the battle between conscious thought and cosmic decay. Physical forms couldn't react quickly enough, couldn't spread themselves thin enough to protect everything. But as pure consciousness, they can be everywhere at once, responding to threats at the speed of thought. The entropy wave continued its advance, but now the galaxy was ready. Every time it encountered a human consciousness barrier, it weakened slightly, its power to unravel reality diminishing against the strength of aware energy. In the Library of Light, the walls displayed a message in flowing quantum script. "Now you understand. This is only the beginning. The universe needs more than one species of guardians to survive what's coming. Will you join us?" Maya looked at her team. Beings of crystal, energy, gas, and countless other forms, and saw in their varied faces the same determination that had led humanity to make their great sacrifice. The next phase of evolution was beginning less than /and thinking greater than. The dreams began 3 days after the entropy wave's first contact with humanity's quantum barriers. Across the galaxy, beings of every species reported similar visions, not through technology or traditional communication, but directly into their consciousness. Archivist Prime Venta, a silicon-based crystalline being, was the first to recognize the pattern. As beings arrived at the Library of Light to report their experiences, she noticed that each dream showed a different fragment of Earth's final days. "These aren't random visions," she announced to the gathered council representatives. "They're memories, shared across species boundaries. Humanity is showing us their choice." Maya Chen X447 sat in the center of the library's main chamber, her hybrid form perfectly attuned to both the quantum frequencies and the emotional resonance of the messages. Through her unique perspective, she helped translate the experiences for others. "They're showing us their transformation," she explained as holographic images danced around her, reflecting the shared dreams. Not just the scientific process, but the emotional journey. The visions revealed Earth's last physical days. They showed not scenes of panic or chaos, but moments of profound determination. Families gathering in quantum transformation chambers, their faces serene with purpose. Scientists working tirelessly to perfect the conversion process. Leaders of nations setting aside old rivalries to coordinate the global transformation. "Look at their expressions," noted psychic empath Soul, their gaseous forms swirling with absorbed emotions. No fear, no regret. They knew exactly what they were choosing and why. Through the shared dreams, the galaxy witnessed humanity's collective decision to transcend physical form. They saw how humans had discovered that consciousness itself could be transformed into a fundamental force of nature, one capable of preserving reality itself. The transformation wasn't instantaneous, Maya narrated, as new visions flowed through the chamber. Each human had to consciously choose to dissolve their physical form, to become part of the quantum network. They had to let go of everything. They were to become everything they could be. The dreams showed the final moments. Billions of humans simultaneously releasing their physical forms, their consciousness expanding into the quantum realm. The process had been beautiful, their bodies dissolving into patterns of pure energy and thought, merging with space-time itself. In the Library of Light, beings from across the galaxy shared their pieces of the vision. A methane-breathing philosopher had seen children playing in their last physical moments, laughing as they prepared to evolve. A crystalline mathematician had witnessed the final calculations that proved their transformation would work. A gaseous collective had experienced the last sunset on Earth, watched by humans who knew they would soon exist as something far greater than their physical forms. "They're not just showing us what happened," Maya realized, her human eyes filling with tears while her crystalline components pulsed with understanding. "They're showing us it's possible. That consciousness can choose to become something more, something greater. Through the dreams, humanity's message became clear. They hadn't abandoned the galaxy. They had sacrificed their physical existence to become its guardians. Every human had chosen to become part of a vast network of conscious energy, woven into the fabric of space-time itself. As the shared visions faded, they left behind not grief for humanity's physical passing, but hope for what they had become. The library's walls shimmered with quantum equations that, when properly understood, resembled nothing so much as a parent's loving embrace of their children. "We are still here," the message concluded, resonating in the consciousness of every being. "We have become more than we were, so that all life might continue. And we wait to welcome others who choose to join us in our watch." The first successful communication bridge between dimensions occurred exactly 1 galactic standard year after the Library of Light appeared. Dr. Maya Chen X447 stood in the transformed central chamber, her hybrid nature serving as the perfect conduit between physical and quantum realms. "Connection established," she announced, her crystalline components resonating with the quantum frequencies, while her human eyes sparkled with tears of joy. "We're receiving coherent consciousness signals from the human network." The chamber filled with representatives from across the galaxy. Counselor Xterra's gossamer form drifted near the ceiling, while Research Cluster 9 extended sensory filaments throughout the space. Xylara Nems, the investigative reporter who had first uncovered humanity's protective acts, hovered nearby in her anti-gravity pod, recording every moment. The air shimmered as the first direct communication manifested, not as words or images, but as pure conceptual understanding that each being perceived in their own way. Through this bridge, humanity explained their new existence in detail for the first time. "We exist in the spaces between moments," the communication conveyed. "We are the conscious thread that binds reality together." Each human mind has become part of a vast network, strengthening the fundamental forces that hold the universe stable. Maya's hybrid form served as a natural translator, helping others understand the complex concepts. "They're showing us how consciousness itself can become a fundamental force," she explained, "like gravity or electromagnetism, but aware and purposeful." Through the connection, humanity shared their discoveries about the nature of reality itself. The universe, they revealed, was not just a collection of physical laws and random chances. It was a living equation, constantly solving itself. Conscious observation and interaction strengthened its solutions, making reality more stable and resilient. The entropy wave was just the beginning, the human network explained. The universe needs more than one species of guardians to survive what's coming. We've prepared the way, but others must join us. In response to this invitation, the Galactic Council established the Transcendence Initiative. The Library of Light became a center of learning where beings from all species could study the science of consciousness evolution. Maya and her team worked tirelessly to adapt humanity's transformation process for different forms of life. The first volunteer for transformation was, fittingly, a human-alien hybrid like Maya herself. They successfully transcended their physical form, joining the human network while maintaining their unique dual perspective. Others followed. Beings of crystal, energy, gas, and countless other forms, each bringing their own unique consciousness to strengthen the quantum web. As more beings chose to evolve, the galaxy itself began to change. The entropy wave, once an unstoppable force, found itself increasingly contained by the growing network of transcended consciousness. Reality itself grew stronger, more resilient, as awareness became woven into its very fabric. The library's walls now displayed a real-time visualization of this network, a vast, beautiful web of conscious energy spanning the galaxy. Each point of light represented a transformed being, each connection a strand of shared purpose and protection. In the chamber, Maya received one final message from the human network, from her mother, who had chosen transformation in Earth's final days. The message carried all the love and pride that transcended physical form. "We never left, my daughter. We became the foundation upon which a greater future will be built. The stars themselves now pulse with conscious thought, and the light between them carries our love for all that lives. We are not humanity's end, but its evolution into something greater, the first guardians of a living universe, waiting to welcome others to our watch. Maya looked out at the assembled beings, representatives of a galaxy awakening to its greater potential, and smiled. The disappearance of Earth had not been an ending, but a beginning. Humanity hadn't fled from existence, they had transformed it, showing all life the path to becoming something more than anyone had dreamed possible.